Hi everybody, my name is Gary Cooper. I'd like to welcome you to another page of my fishing diary. Today we're going to go back to 1992 to a place called the Queen Charlotte Islands. And we were fishing the south end of the Queen Charlotte Islands. And if you went to a map or a chart, if you look, there's two islands. There's Graham Island on the top and Moresby Island on the bottom. And we were fishing Moresby Island, but on the west coast. So if you go looking halfway down that island and then go across to the west coast, that's where we were. And now that is a place where you just can't get to. But there was a boat that used to have a charter operation, and it was called the Charlotte Explorer, and it was owned by Danny Sewell, and he would bring guests in there, and he had boats and equipment. And of course he fed you and you had a place to sleep, and it was really a great operation. It's not there anymore. It's pretty hard sometimes to operate a fishing lodge or operation on the west coast of Charlotte's, simply because the weather can be tough, but the fishing can be good. Now this particular day it was really good. I was fishing with Belhuemer, and Belhuemer was the representative back then of Lure Jensen, and he was in the business for years until the day he retired. But I had the opportunity, because he was there, to take him out and fish with him, and we had a great time catching big Chinook salmon. In the States you call them kings. So check it out and make sure that you subscribe. Okay? Subscribe. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, look at him on the surface.
Look at him go! Gee, was that ever a mover, eh?
Looks like Leo's got one on up there too, straight in front of us.
Oh, good for Leo.
Man, they sure smash those spoons, don't they?
Did you see how quick he went on the surface?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Look at him.
Oh, look at that.
Look at the line going. Whoa.
Holy cow. Wow, look at him on the surface.
I have never seen a fish go that fast. Are you?
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at him.
You got lots of line on there.
Yep. God, these reels are smooth.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, wait till we service it tonight for you. That's the Islander reel, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great reel. You got a great little cottage industry there, and they should do quite well.
Well, you get lots of line for these big fish too.
Yeah.
Nothing like sitting out here, watching people catch fish, drink wine.
Look at that. That is one of the fastest fish I've ever seen.
Look like a freight train.
I've never seen a fish move that fast on top of the water like that. Like, he is really green. He is really fresh.
Well, like you're saying, fresh run of fish might have just moved in. God.
Yeah.
These are just a beauty.
Whoa.
He's a puller. He's a puller.
Yeah, he seems to be very good size way. That rod's got that slow pump to it too, eh?
Gary, I've been fooled so many times.
I know. And especially out here.
Yeah.
But it's good to use. No, he's not that big,
No, he's not. Hey. All right. Okay. Okay. A sec, I'm gonna go around the motor.
You got it?
A sec. I'll just get him out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
There he
is. Yeah.
Let's have a look.
He's a bullet. Whoa, that's a nice fish. That is a beauty. Look at that. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Well hooked too, isn't he?
God, they sure hit those spoons, don't they?
Yeah, he's bleeding quite badly here too.
Here you go.
Now here, we'll get him in here, I think.
Jeez.
I'm gonna try it. We're gonna have
there you
some
go.
fun here.
Perfect. Almost. You get him there, Gary?
Well, he's well enough hooked, so all I gotta do is.
Just how wet do you want to get your arm? All right. Look at that.
Al,
That's a beauty.
that is a beautiful fish.
Look at that.
That's
Look at where he's got it. Oh, he's hooked well. I'll just take that off.
Yeah.
Oops. Ah, there we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, should we put him back?
you bet.
Okay, come on. Come on over here. We're gonna
Let's toss him back
look
in.
at that, eh?
Just a beauty.
Yeah, he should be okay. There you go. Oh, is he ever?
All right.
All right, buddy.
Great start, eh? You kind of like that.
Hey, no net.
What a
Nice
beauty.
Fish, what a fish.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, Belhuemer. That's the way we say that one.
That's close. Belhuemer.
Belhuemer, that's right. I know him quite well, actually, because we've been on rivers opposite each other, looking at each other, asking questions, or on the ocean. But you happen to be up here on the Charlotte Explorer with me.
Yeah, it's worked out that way.
You're pro staff and you work for Lure Jensen. You have quite a name fishing on the West Coast, so I said, hey, come on out, use just your tackle, show me some of the things that Lure Jensen has, and let's pick up some fish. I said, guide me. But there's no way I could take that fish away from you.
How long have we been out here? We've been out here about a whole 5 minutes, I think. Eh?
That's right, that's right.
God,
So-
that's great. Good way to start.
Yeah, so what type of a spoon were we using there?
That's it's called a Diamond King.
Yeah?
It's actually quite a heavy spoon, fitted with a single Siwash hook.
Yeah?
When we're trolling it quite quick through this area, we're down about 30 feet, we're trolling real quick, and it gives lots of action to the spoon. They've been hitting this one real well.
Yeah.
Real well.
Yeah, well,
as you can see.
there. Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
know, and there's no doubt when they hit it, they just smack it. So
No, that was a green fish. He was green and he was healthy, and
it was great.
well, and of
Well, look
course,
at it.
and the thing is we have no weight here,
No, this
and
is
with
it.
no weight, there's nothing to hold that fish down. So he was just wanting to run on the surface,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he looked like a freight train out there.
Didn't he though?
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And what an outfit! Got a nice sage,
Sage rod,
Yeah.
12-foot sage rod.
12 foot, and
Nice islander reel.
under reel.
A little vicious. You gotta like it. It's great.
You want to catch some more?
You bet. Okay, how I'm rigging this spoon up is I just have the spoon tied right on the 25-pound line, like a Berkeley trilene line. Then I have a little B-chain swivel here, about 4 feet up. What that does, that just stops the line twist that goes up from the rod, that comes off from the spoon. I'm running the spoon back about anywhere from 25 to 30 feet. So let's run it back out here. See it back out there. And then what I'm doing is I'm clipping it into an offshore release. I'm running it back about 3/4 of the way just because of the size of the fish. So when they hit, I want them to set the hook. And then what I'm doing is I'm running it down to a depth of approximately anywhere from 30 to 35 feet. That's where we've basically located all the fish. So we're getting down there. We got both downriggers set within 5 feet. We feel the fish are really concentrated, so we're just going to key in right on them.
The only thing I can't believe is you brought this thing.
I did.
Do you mind if I look at it?
Well, it might be a little messy, but okay, go ahead.
I've been dying. I saw it at the airport, you know, and I thought,
I gotta have a look at this.
I thought, I gotta have a look inside here, eh? Look at this here, eh?
Well, we got a bunch of the spoons that we've been using here. We got
Yeah.
fish on just about every one of these spoons. We have some hoochie actionizers here. Impart their own action on the hoochie. We got some J plugs
Yeah.
like that. Been trying a few of these, getting a few fish on these. But these fish from up here really tend to like these spoons.
Yeah.
I found that we fished a lot of plugs. We fished a little bit of bait behind some of the gear that we have here. But the really success that we've had has been on the spoons.
Yeah, it has been,
They've
hasn't
just
it?
been
Which
just
is,
hammering
Which is
them.
really surprising. A lot of people up here in the operation that they fish just cut plug. This is the only operation I've seen up here that has downriggers as an option.
Absolutely, and it's a great
And
option.
it was a great option.
Well, you've got no weight on your line or anything
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. And as you can see, the way those fish hit and the way they fight is incredible.
The spoons that we have, and
This is probably a great item.
hook files.
That,
Jeez. I got those
Lure
hooks
Jensen brought out.
absolutely razor sharp.
When you get back, you're going to have to make sure you send me a couple of these, because
Yeah.
I'm always short of
They're
hook
pretty
files.
great. One of the things I just want to show you here about sharpening hooks is you see a lot of people, they'll take a file and they'll rub it like this. Well, a file only cuts one way.
Yeah,
So you always got to push up on the hook.
yeah.
Okay, and so what happens when you go in this is you're actually sharpening, dulling, and then dulling the hook and sharpen, dull, and that. So what you do is you go one way like that and shine a couple of points. Just nice, touch it up and you'll feel how sharp that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sticky sharp.
Sticky sharp. So.
Yeah, good idea.
Another thing
I
is
just learned because that's what I do. People get used to a stone and
a stone and they go this, but these files they cut one way.
Yeah, they cut one way.
Another thing is then they put the file like this.
Yeah.
And then there goes the point.
Yeah.
So you want it parallel and just to touch it up just a little bit.
Wow.
And that's all it takes. And well, as you can see, the way that fish was hooked,
yeah.
like he's got it.
How big do you think that fish was?
Probably middle 20s.
I'd say upper 20s.
25, 26, 27.
I was holding him, yeah. And I always
that's right. I didn't get to touch him. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
that was
great.
a beautiful fish.
Well, let's hopefully we can get another one here.
Yeah.
Oh, just hammered it.
Right on. Okay. Told you. Okay, you won the bet. You won the bet. While we were gone, I made a little bet with Al, and what that bet was is I told him to put on this big Tom Mac, and I bet him that it would catch a fish first, and I lost.
Oh, don't you feel bad now that you lost?
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful rod. 12 feet long, eh?
Yeah.
No, he's just going right down.
I'm gonna turn around and go get him a little bit here. We'll just take it nice and slow.
Yeah, and sort of keep us into the sun there.
Yeah. Okay. You can put some good torque on him with that rod, can't you?
Yeah.
Like you said, everyone fights differently.
Yeah, really. Yeah, let's stay together like this. My guide. It's so nice to be guided, eh? Just to sit there and wait for it to happen.
You're a little slow though. You didn't quite get to the rod in time.
No, I know. Well, you know what happened last time I went to the rod too fast? It got unbuttoned. So this time I thought, no, I'm going to.
Well, there wasn't too much doubt in this one's mind.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to drive the boat and just kind of follow them a little bit, stay on top of them.
Okay.
There's nobody around us, so
No.
Lots of room, but just in case you might get caught on one of those reefs or something.
Yeah.
She's just kind of swimming this way now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to think ahead of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of.
Well, there's so many ups and downs here that you can get over one hump and you could drift off them and you could just break you off in a minute. So
Yeah.
you stay on top of them.
Yeah.
Plus, then the other boats know where your fish is too, so
That's right.
they don't cut them off or anything.
Look at him roll there, eh? Look at that.
There he is right there.
There he is there, yeah.
Nice looking fish.
Is he?
He's not overly huge, but it's.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
You like it when your line goes in one area and you see the tail about 3
Yeah.
feet over there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why we come here. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh boy, that reel feels nice. I don't think this reel needs too much service. My arms. Well, no, you see, I never put on a coat. It was such a lovely day out here. Now there's a little evening chill. And that plus excitement, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Should get you a fighting butt.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times you play these fish. You get just as excited each time, don't you?
Yeah. Well, you hear some guys, they always want 40 pounders, but they're all nice, but some are better than others.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Nice looking fish. Wow. Just a beauty. Okay, when we get them up here, I'll try to grab them and then you can just...
Oh, look at him roll there. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Whoa!
Just when you thought you had them.
Just when you thought it was safe.
Yeah. Well, that's the most critical point, is right when
Oh,
you
look
tell
at
you,
that.
just breaching.
Whoa! Heading right toward the sun.
Yeah. Now he's heading towards Japan
look
now.
At that, eh? Look at that. Whoa!
That's a good run.
That is quite nice, yeah. I like it when they get on the surface like that, and they'll do it when you have no weight on, just a plug, eh? They try and shake it out of their mouth. He's a real rolly fish, like a steelhead.
Yeah.
He's rolling around there.
Well, they're all different.
Yeah. Beautiful way to end the day, eh?
Yeah,
Have a nice seafood meal and then come out here for the evening. Sun's
Well,
going
it's not
down.
that far of a run either. It's only like about a 10-minute run from the boat.
Yeah.
You can come in and out.
Yeah.
It's, fish
So
around
we're
the
gonna
tide
have to-
changes.
We're gonna go and have to soak our arms in the hot tub tonight, eh?
Well, okay. Yeah, sounds great.
Well, believe it or not, you see, we're up here up north, and it is 9:30, and we've still got it'll be light here till 11 o'clock. And then it's light again at 5, so by the time you have a hot tub and that, you get about 4 hours sleep a night. Nice. There he is again. There he is. Oh, that's a nice fish.
You bet.
Real head shaker. Look at that. Whoa! Whoa!
Not a whole lot you can do when he comes right at you.
Nope.
Jeez, look at that. He stopped right at the boat.
Right there, yeah. Keep her rolling in. Wow. Nice job. Oh, look at down here. Look at them
Oh, yeah.
silver flashes. Whoa.
Jeez. God, they're nice fish.
Oh, I want them in the boat here, so.
Yeah. Skin. A little more, Gary. There you go. He's just thrashing. We'll get him. Just give him a sec here.
Whoa, we don't like you.
This is a...
Okay, here we go. Let's get that hand around this tail.
Yep,
Right, just get it right around the tail.
Not too happy, is he? I guess you can't blame him. Nope, almost got it. Just a little bit out of my reach here.
Oh, no, just.
Almost. We'll get him. Oh, man. What a fish.
Oh, geez.
That's just
Look at that.
Look at that one.
Look at that fish there. Oh, we should.
I think we should maybe say.
Should we keep him for the barbecue?
Well, I don't think it is a nice fish.
It is a nice fish, isn't it?
I think we should. What do you think?
Well, he's bleeding here, too.
Oh,
You see
yeah,
that?
look at him.
I don't like that.
God, he sure got that spoon pretty heavy duty, huh?
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
okay, hold on to him there. Come on over here.
Look at that.
Hey, that's what it's all about.